That's brilliant, chirped out of Molly and Lil. Thanks. They are talking about the sky. It was crystal clear. Stars so bright constellations could not be found. Oh, it was you, whispered out of Kate. Came next morning soon, and the team was at the wagon. The pals were hitched up. Raven sat on the front edge of the cart and kept lifting one foot, wiggling his toes to Molly and Lil, who were twiddling little wiggle finger waves back. The rest of the kids stood like Long John's crew, hands on hips, feet apart. Bill and Kate leaned on each other. Hank was there with Emma and promised he'd keep track of everyone. Declared he'd stay contagious forever. The mule braid made him wobble as she nudged him affectionately. The Hoover waved a checker to Hanky and did the best he could to console Emma, who, quite frankly, didn't really seem to care. Wing got a gallon can out of the wagon and Hank quickly retrieved it. A secret was nickered. The oxen wept. Sorry, I won't be here to help. Use this. You never have to paint again. Take less to heat the place. Thanks. We'll use it for the kids' rooms. Read the directions carefully and follow them. You got enough to do a continent in that can, any color you like. One last round of hugs, a climb to the seat. Goodbye, Grandpa. In his ear froze him for a moment. Yeah! And a little ripple of the reins. The kids cheered the glory of the movement of the two mighty animals while the oxen bellowed at the yank of the wagon. We pay attention. You don't need to tell us 47 times. Got grins from 3 people. Wing never looked over his shoulder, so the back of his waving hand was all that ever witnessed that they watched him till he was completely out of sight and longer, standing taller on their toes the further away he got. The Homestead family never saw his face, but Raven did. They're safe. Reply was a quick nod. Loosening the reins, the show went west. This man is blood, Ma? Yes. Got choked out between 2 nods. How many greats should we say before we say Grandpa? After a moment, many, very many. A camp was made 3 days out from the homestead. Had sorting to do and needed some time to spend strolling. The team was turned loose to wander. Birdways sent Raven skyward for a good look around. Wing was used to being anywhere and judging safety by what was or was not right in front of his nose. Up your nose planning. For Raven, safety had always been knowing your territory. There was no longer a clue about that. Birds, like the little mice, were food to a lot of creatures, and sometimes flying just gave hungry hawks a better shot at you. It was dangerous. But he was curious beyond caution, and once aloft, could see that the stream they were beside was clear for a long distance. There were no big herds near, no signs of people of any type, just woods that seemed to thin out further west. So they relaxed. The team browsed. Boss and Bird sampled concoctions and mixes from a variety of bottles and boxes as he rummaged. Some crates were broken and used to make a fire. Others were partially filled and, like this and that's, were themed together, reducing the space these containers took up. Every once in a while, something would surprise, spur a memory, be fooled around with, then put away, probably to be forgotten again. You never knew what you were going to need, so it was hard to choose. Wing solved all the problems of planning out what might be needed by just keeping the stuff that was cool. If he liked it, if it worked or not, whatever it was back in the wagon. If not, out. Cleaning out the clutter wagon clutter was a way to clean out the mind. He could unload his head and make himself over new with a tidy kit. This was stupid because there was no caring to have one and didn't like doing this, but that didn't matter. Some irritation inside of him told him when he needed to do it, and he just did what he was told. It always felt decisive to be done. I need a haircut, Raven. Did you find a tool I could cut it with? Are you asking for one? No. Out in the middle of the radiation desert, south of the great big lakes, there's a place, a town, great haircuts. How far? Not far. Ravens don't live as long as people, so maybe you see time differently. See the moon? Yes. When it's full like that, time after next again, we'll be on Midway. We'll be in a town of people that is not a settlement, and they live above ground. What do? They sit in the sun. No roofs on any of the houses. Talk about a group that loves plants. They plant freaks like the coal hole folks are wag freaks. and they got great green ale. Green beer? All the time he spoke, he was picking up and getting ready and getting the wagon ready. With his first thought, Lester and Earl mustered to their places, waited. Yeah, squinted to the sky. I was a little put off at first, too. I'm an amber man myself, but I got to tell you, it's great, and it does thicken your hair. Raising his hat to sneak a little look into a mirror attached to the wagon hatch being closed. Twisting let the mirror show a small bald spot at the back and a forehead that was steadily occupying more space. With a deliberately squared hat on that head, moved to hitch the team, climbed to sit, the medicine man had prepared a bag, stored it cozied into his armpit. Save that for some time soon. The sun did not have to come and go too many times before it proved out that Raven's view of the thinning woods was correct. The great forest thinned slowly at first, then suddenly, like a line, was drawn on the ground. Ha! No mistaking where the desert starts! Wing changed the tire pressure to keep the wagon from sinking, put hats on Lester and Earl that looked like umbrellas. How hot do you like it, Raven? 'Cause it's going to get so frigging hot you can't believe it. Then it's going to stay hot. Then it's going to get hotter. I hate the heat. No breeze either. This place don't look natural. If you mean did it grow here, it didn't. It was blasted here a long time ago. The ancestors of Midway loved plants and wanted to be left alone. Everyone should have left them alone. But if they had, then we wouldn't have this neat desert. Raven could see that it was more than a desert. Any one he'd ever heard about was a harsh place. But it was still home for some creatures that had learned to live there, and it was only desolate to life that didn't belong. This place was not like that. It was not even sand. The ground below them was finely grained glass, so smooth if you stayed in one place too long you started to sink. Like to make this passage in one go, if you don't mind. Raven did not. The thought of the wagon disappearing below him in a world where the air was too hot and thin to fly in was causing him to expel precious body fluid. Yeah. How will we know our way? Grab on the wheel and by the stars we'll steer. Did the best pirate stand that could be done while sitting. Very funny. I wonder what Lester and Earl think of this, queried in a mock taunting tone. Appear to be aimed at the middle. No encouragement was necessary. They rolled forward. Soon they could not see the woods they left. In every direction there was only sand to be seen, and a sun that broiled up from directly behind, rising till it stabbed down from directly over them and grilled them, arcing on to be in their faces, getting lower and lower, trying to get under the rim of Wing's hat. Every day he started with the back of head hat, then pulling the brim down just ahead of the sun's aggravating desire to burn their eyeballs out. And it was easy to imagine that the sheltering shade made the sun angry. Don't pay any attention to that. The sun don't even know we're here. No one does. We die here and no one knows who we are. That feeling thrill you as much as it does me? If no one knows where we are and we disappear in the sand, people might not ever think we're dead. They might, for a real long time, always expect us to show up someplace and set up shop. We would be like Pharaoh, without ever having to build a pyramid to be us in our absence. Our absence would be us, and always friends and, well, others would look up and wonder if that's us coming every time they see something square aimed at them from the distance. Wing retrieved the slowly big bag and let Raven peck a little of what he was eating. Bright colors flooded before them. There were suns within suns within suns, like ripples within ripples after a stone is thrown in the water. When the multi-armed elephant sitting on a throne of tusks appeared, they both saw it.